Bitcoin bulls taking a little vacation as Bitcoin price consolidates, taking a breather. How low is Bitcoin going to go? What is up, everyone? Thanks for coming by Crypto Capital Venture. Hit that subscribe on your way in if you're not a subscriber, and let's jump into the video because I know you're watching Bitcoin charts today. Bitcoin is down, cryptos are down, maybe some of your top favorite altcoins are down. I want to discuss what's going on and why we are absolutely not surprised, especially if you've been watching these videos for the last couple weeks on Bitcoin. We've been eyeing up $10,500 since we first hit $12,000. Why is that? And I'm going to play two quick clips, okay? And I want to let you know before I do that, I do this because the content is there. I don't want to repeat myself, but I'm also trying to teach those of you who are really trying to learn how to read the charts. And this just provides absolutely the best content and context to what's happening technically on the chart. So let's take a quick look, even though I can't stand looking at myself in these videos. And we also know that throwbacks out of huge patterns are common as well for Bitcoin. So anywhere in this area, and I'm sorry to be talking about a $10,500 Bitcoin or this upper trend line right around 10,700, but please just be prepared for it, right? It's not that big of a dip. It's not that big of a dip. That was when we went up to 12,000. I was talking about that run up to 12,000 for the first time, and in that video, Bitcoin actually made that first crazy move down to 10,500 in minutes. You might remember that. And then the day after, basically, I did this video. The swing low, the lowest low in the right shoulder of that inverse head and shoulders to this previous swing high we just had. And we have our 618 to 786 right here. And we're talking $10,000 down to $9,500. So basically $9,500, $9,600 up to $10,500. There is so much support for Bitcoin. Okay, so we're talking about some low levels there. We're sub $10,000, and most of us don't want to see Bitcoin go there. But let's bring it all together. Let's talk about what's going on in Bitcoin, because everybody, this is it. These are the moments to prepare for, because these are the moments that will continue happening. It's not a guarantee, but it's a likelihood that it's going to continue happening, even if Bitcoin and all cryptocurrencies make parabolic gains to ridiculous all-time highs. So here's Bitcoin. This is the inverse head and shoulders we've been tracking. We got that breakout a couple weeks ago. It was awesome. It still is awesome that it happened, right? Back in July. And from that, we've identified this neckline right around 10,500 as a really key area for Bitcoin. When Bitcoin breaks out of targets, often there is a throwback to the trend line that it broke out of, in this case 10,500, especially big long-term patterns. And this pattern goes back to October 2019, that left shoulder. So we've identified that, right? And now we're starting to potentially see Bitcoin maybe test those areas. It's not definite that it's going to happen, but it's possible. So if we go over here, I want to just identify a couple more areas that we can have on these Bitcoin charts and really get a sense of, does Bitcoin have support? Where is support? What does it look like? So just real quick on a weekly chart, this 50-week moving average, it's 86.50. I'm not sitting here saying it's going there, but it's a very important area for Bitcoin in terms of these next couple of years. If Bitcoin is going to really make its move into a crazy, awesome bull market. And that is because if we zoom out on these weekly charts, Bitcoin has consistently, in an uptrend, seen support in a bull market above the 50-week moving average. There it is, right? I mean, this is well above the 50-week moving average. So we want to get in a similar situation, higher highs and higher lows on the weekly chart above the 50-week moving average. I'm bringing this up because if Bitcoin tests that area for some crazy reason, we might start talking about the fact that this current swing high that we have right here could be a lower high in this long-term downtrend, right? Bull market high, last summer high, and now we're putting in potentially a lower high on our way down, right? To hopefully put in a higher low. But we have to really see what Bitcoin does now, because we are testing, and this is a critical area. Bitcoin is testing whether or not it's going to be entering a bull market. Everybody's talking about it and almost expecting it, but now we're really seeing Bitcoin tested. This is the area, that swing high that Bitcoin needs to break above, currently up to 14,000. Anything under that is a lower high. Not good, right? Consolidation on the short term before we break through that area is fine, and that could be what's happening. So let's dig in. Here's the daily chart. So on this daily chart, here are our areas that we're really watching for. I mean, this is the areas I'm watching for. I mentioned in that video clip I played the Fibonacci retracement, right? That's the swing low of the right shoulder to our swing high to 12,000 that we had. And we have our Fibonacci retracement channel. And that is currently right here, right around, we chart it right here, 10,000 down to 9,500 or so. So 10,000 to 9,500 area is a really key area, and it's pretty much highlighted in this box. Move it down a little bit. A really key area of support for Bitcoin. And you can see confluent with that is this green line, which really represents this 50 moving average on the daily, right around $9,900. And we've also talked about in this video where Bitcoin actually crashed live on my screen after hitting 12,000. Previously, minutes before, I was talking about Bitcoin does this. It pulls back to the 50 moving average all the time, and it's just best to be prepared for it. So if I zoom out on this daily chart, we can go back to the last bull market. Bitcoin's making parabolic gains, and you can see it. Parabolic gains until it's overextended, it pulls back to that blue line, 50 moving average, pull back. And it's so drastic, and you feel it, right? Like everybody, that Twitter's going crazy. It's depressed because we're feeling these 40% dips below, breaking below that 50 moving average. That's what Bitcoin does in uptrends. And so we said, anticipate that, get used to it because it could happen. So that's a key area we're watching. And yes, it is confluent with a key Fibonacci retracement, namely the right shoulder of this head and shoulders down to I guess you could say 618 of this Fibonacci down to $9,500 area. So that's a really just key area, $9,500 to $10,000. The other one is a 200 moving average. In a just environment where markets are freaking out, it's not unlike Bitcoin to wick down to that 200 moving average. I'm not saying I think that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. However, that is like the massive buy the dip opportunity if Bitcoin were to do that. And it would be really testing this previous swing low of that right shoulder. I'm talking about downside in this video, not because I'm saying it's going to happen, but I want to give you these targets to anticipate, to know, to realize that with this data, we can probably understand the fact that Bitcoin at that moment may be oversold. I'm sorry. And if Bitcoin really comes down into this area on this RSI, that's a very good sign to potentially accumulate some more Bitcoin if that's what you're keen on doing. Now, I just want to illustrate this for you. Those huge dips, right, for Bitcoin being pulled back to the 50 moving average in the last bull market, you can see what Bitcoin did. It came down almost to the oversold area multiple times, right? Multiple times before continuing up. So we have to anticipate similar moves for Bitcoin. It's going to be volatile. It's going to be a roller coaster ride, but they happened before, and there's a very good possibility they happen again. And so we can anticipate that area for Bitcoin. But that's where we want to see support. Any type of pullback to this area into the $9,500 area and then a break back up. Ultimately, what we really want to see is weekly closes. No matter what Bitcoin does, weekly closes above this neckline on Bitcoin charts, because that is a neckline of the inverse head and shoulders, and we want to see Bitcoin maintain above it. Now, just real quick, zooming in on the charts, because I know you're probably wondering, well, what are charts doing right now? There are so many ways to chart this, everybody. We have some crazy wick action going everywhere. People are charting these things differently. I'd like to maintain charts we had. Here's an ascending triangle that we had prior, right? And I was messing around before, but we take kind of the average of this volatility, and we had an ascending triangle. Bitcoin currently breaking to the downside. I really want to maintain this target close to around $10,000 or so currently. I want to maintain that as a target, potential support if Bitcoin just really crashes before we get to that Fibonacci retracement channel that we just talked about. Down here, you can see it on the charts, 10,000 to 10, or I'm sorry, talking too quick, 10,000 to 9,500. Before we get there, we're looking for support at this target. There can be absolute bounce here for continuation for Bitcoin to continue to the upside. Now, if I clear this 6-hour chart, and this is what I wanted to share with you, we have a very clear mental type of potential support right around $11,000. And you can see if we mark that line, 11,000, it really was kind of this area of potential resistance back here, became an area of support for Bitcoin, and we are right above it once again. This could ultimately be where Bitcoin bounces. This doesn't have to be a long drawn out consolidation or just, the bears really taking control. Bitcoin could really just be consolidating back to this area a little bit, cooling off on all the charts, and we can get a bounce here. But I really wanted to share with you the downside targets so you know what to anticipate moving down. On the very short term, the most bullish of bullish things that could happen is, yes, we get that support right above this $11,000. You can see we wick down to 11,100 almost. And we see something similar that what happened back here the last time. As I was doing that video, Bitcoin just, boom, just came down right on this chart. So we will, on the short term, watch these areas. Again, there's so many different ways you can chart this. You kind of have a rising trend line there. You can probably pretty much put a rising trend line there. We have kind of this rising channel that we could be tracking for Bitcoin. And ultimately, either way, the same target applies here, right around $10,000 to the downside. Bullishly, Bitcoin can bounce here. We could be testing the upper trend line once again at $12,000. I might be doing a video tomorrow talking about $12,000. Will it break? Will the bulls win? So we track it in real time. Wanted to give you some context to what's going on in the charts. Absolutely not surprising at all. Obviously, we've been talking about this for a while, how Bitcoin just makes moves to the downside. Maybe it won't be as strong as 10,500, but the possibilities are really there. It's only $700 away. So be prepared for every scenario. I appreciate you coming by. If you're here and you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. I really, truly am thankful that you're here watching these videos with me as we grow in this cryptocurrency space. I'll see you in the next video. Have an awesome day, and God bless.